Comparing yourself to other streamers can take something you genuinely enjoy and slowly turn it into something that just makes you feel behind. Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to Creator Conversations, the series where I sit down and talk honestly about streaming, content creation, growth, and everything that comes with trying to build something online. In this episode, I want to talk about comparison. More specifically, why comparing yourself to other streamers can ruin the fun. Because I think this is one of those things that almost every creator has dealt with at some point, whether they admit it or not. If you spend any amount of time streaming, making content, posting online, and trying to grow, eventually you are going to look around and notice what other people are doing. You'll notice that there are people growing faster than you. People are getting more views, they are getting more chat activity, and you'll notice that people are putting out content that just seems better than yours and moving forward while you just feel kind of stuck. And the hard part is, sometimes that feeling isn't even based on nothing. Sometimes, if you're being really honest with yourself, there are people around you who are just genuinely outperforming you. They're making better content, they're being more consistent, they're being more creative, and they're just getting results that you wish you were getting. And I think it's really important to be honest about that, because I don't think this conversation works if we pretend comparison only happens when it's irrational. Sometimes the people you compare yourself to really are doing better. Sometimes they are making things that you look at and think, yeah, that's genuinely really good. And I think that can be a difficult thing to sit with because it can make you feel a little bit envious. It can turn into frustration and make you question yourself, feel like you're falling behind. If you let that mindset take over, it can start affecting the way you create. Because once you get too focused on what everyone else is doing, you stop building your content around what actually feels right for you. You start chasing what seems to be working for them, and you start thinking maybe I should make my videos like that. Maybe I should change the way I stream, and maybe I should talk the way they talk and focus on what they're focusing on, because you start to think that changing your whole approach makes sense because it's working for them and what you're doing isn't working for me. And I think that's where comparison starts doing real damage, because using other people for ideas is one thing, but trying to become a version of someone else because you think their success proves that the way they're doing things is right and what you're doing is wrong is completely different. And I think creators need to be really careful with that, because your content should always feel like your content. That doesn't mean you can't learn from people. Of course you can. And I think it's completely normal to watch other people's streams, other creators, and get ideas from what they're doing well. That's the whole part of that, is the whole big thing about creating. You notice things, you learn from things, you take inspiration from things. All of that is fine. But inspiration and imitation are not the same thing. And I think sometimes people blur the line because comparison makes them panic a little bit. They stop thinking about what they actually enjoy and start thinking about what they think they should be doing instead. And that usually leads to content that doesn't feel natural. Because one of the most important things in streaming and content creation is that your content should actually be for you as well. Not just for the growth and for the numbers, and not just because you think it will work, but because you genuinely enjoy it. Because if you enjoy what you're doing, that will come through. People can feel it. They can tell when someone is comfortable in the things that they're making. They can tell when someone's actually enjoying their own stream, and they can tell when someone believes in the content they're putting out. And on the other side, I think people can also feel when someone's forcing it. When someone is making a style of content that doesn't really suit them, when someone's trying to copy a formula that they don't really enjoy, and when someone's too focused on what works instead of what feels right. And I think that's why comparison can be so harmful, because it can pull you out of your own lane. It can make you forget that what makes your content work is not that it looks exactly like somebody else's, it's that it feels like you. And I think that matters more than people realize, because yes, there are always going to be creators around you who are doing well. There are always going to be people who seem ahead. There are always going to be people who are more polished, more confident, more experienced, more creative, or just further along than you are right now. But that doesn't mean your only option is to judge yourself. And it definitely doesn't mean your content has any less value just because theirs is performing better. I think one of the healthiest mindset shifts you can make as a creator is learning to stop obsessing over what everyone else around you is doing. That doesn't mean pretend it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean you never notice it. And it doesn't mean you never feel anything when someone around you is doing better than you. Because you probably will, and that's normal. But I do think there's a difference between noticing it and just living in it. You can notice someone is doing really well. You can even admit they might be making better content than you right now. But I think the next step has to be, well, what do I do with that? Do I let it make me bitter? Do I let it ruin my confidence? Do I let it make me hate my own content? Do I let it make me force myself into making things that I don't really feel like me? Or do I let it teach me something without letting it take over my mindset? That to me is the key part. Because I actually think there's a much healthier way to look at people around you succeeding. And that's just be proud of them, like genuinely proud of them. Because honestly, nothing feels better than wanting the people around you to succeed. I believe that, and if there are creators around you doing well, putting out strong content, building momentum, and making something of themselves, that's a good thing. And I think it's a much better mindset to look at that and think, fair play. Good for them. I'm glad it's working for them. Not in like a fake, forced, positive way, but genuinely choosing not to turn someone else's progress into a reason to beat yourself up, because that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help you. It doesn't improve your content, and it just poisons the way you feel about your own journey. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons comparison ruins the fun. Because the more you focus on other people's pace, other people's content, other people's wins, and other people's numbers, the harder it becomes to enjoy your own. You stop appreciating your own progress because it doesn't look like theirs. You stop feeling proud of what you've made because someone else has made something better. And you stop enjoying your content because someone else's just looks more successful. And eventually, what should feel creative starts feeling like a constant scoreboard. That's not a good place to create from, because streaming and content creation are supposed to have some enjoyment in them. Yes, growth matters, improvement matters, and it's good to learn from others. But if you lose all enjoyment because you're measuring yourself against them, then the whole thing just starts to feel miserable. And I think that's why it's so important to remember that your content is yours. Your community is yours, your style is yours, your pace is yours, your voice is yours. And even if you borrow ideas and even if you improve learning from others, it still has to come back to you. What do you enjoy making? What feels natural to you? What kind of content actually feels fun for you to make? What kind of stream do you want to build? Because if you can answer those questions honestly, you're in a much better place than if you're just reacting to everyone else around you. And I think that's the main point I wanted to make in this video, is that comparison is normal. Feeling a bit envious sometimes is normal. Noticing other people are doing better, even admitting that some of them are making better content, that's normal. But you cannot let it become the thing that decides how you feel about your own content. Take ideas, take inspirations, learn from what works, but don't lose yourself trying to become a version of someone else. Because if you enjoy what you're doing, that comes through. And if your content feels honest, natural, and actually feels like you, that matters more than people think. Before I finish the video, I just want to quickly mention that we're currently raising money for the Epilepsy Society. If you'd like to support that, the donation link in the description, 90% of donations through that link will go to charity. If you donate through the Twitch fundraiser, then 100% will go to them. And if you want to keep up with everything I'm doing, make sure to follow me across all of my social medias, follow me on Twitch for the live streams, and join my Discord as well so you can keep up with the community, stream updates, and all my future content. All the links are down below. And if you enjoyed this episode, let me know what topic you want me to talk about next. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.